Okay, here we are. Got another rat in here. Look at him. You just see his tail there and his butt end. Here's my hex bracket set up. You can see I still have a trap right here set up on the pole. So that just shows you can have one set off and one still active. That's a good setup by Haggerty. Hags makes good stuff. Is a good company. I got another one over here, but I don't think I have a rat in it. Not too many rats this year. Pretty slow. I can tell by the amount of vegetation that was in the pond and the amount of active trails that I had here. So I'll definitely reset this because you can see here it's pretty heavily used. So there may be more than one rat in it. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, there he is. Got him in that 155. Good catch. He's not getting out of that. Good sized rat, actually. All right, back in the truck after first check day. Didn't expect too much. I knew I hadn't seen too much sign. And it's like that some years with muskrats around here. I've noticed that if you don't get flooding, we've had drought, like a lot of the U.S. We've had some drought conditions. And I think I'm relying on the creek behind that pond to flood, so I get dispersal with the muskrats. So when the water is low, I think they don't move as much as they would if the water floods. I've noticed that when the creek floods, I'll get fresh rats coming into the pond. But without flooding, they tend to stay more localized. A good friend of mine in Ireland, mink trapper Eddie, the mink trapping Paddy, he asked me if the muskrats move around during the day. And honestly, I don't think they do. At least not in conditions like this. I tried floats on this pond. I've tried hags brackets on the surface in this pond. And I tend not to catch rats in those traps. I think a lot of it has to do with the pond being exposed. There's no weed cover on it. So muskrats are a prey animal. And we have a lot of hawks. We have eagles. We have golden eagles, bald eagles, red-tailed hawks. Some pretty large birds of prey that can very easily pick off ospreys. They can very easily pick off a muskrat on the surface. So the muskrats are aware of that, and they tend not to come out in open water, especially during the day. Now, I have seen them, first light. They're just like a beaver, where they'll swim along the surface of the water with just his eyeballs and his nose sticking out, and then if he sees you or he's alert to danger, they kind of slap the water and then dive down really quick. And they're super quick swimmers, super fast. And they'll just vanish. So they're pretty aware of predation. Now, I would think the only other animal that would be a threat to them would be a mink. Maybe a fisher in the right locations. But the mink do hunt them. I have trapped mink in this pond in sets intended for muskrats, where the minks have been going into the burrows to hunt for the muskrat. Now, I haven't caught a mink here in quite a few seasons. Why? I don't know. I don't know whether the numbers are down or what. I don't know. As you can see, the water is it's pristinely clear. The creek water also is like really, really clear. It's not a pollution issue. You get farm runoff from some of the farms around here. That creek runs through pretty much all private property. It's very difficult to get access to it anywhere. I'm fortunate enough that the landowner gives me access here because he owns the land, up to the creek. But I think the muskrat population is lower without the dispersal, without the flooding, the high water. Now, I'll leave these traps in because I will get muskrats that will move out from the creek. So the landowner here wants these rats out of the pond. So I usually trap them pretty hard, every season. But we'll see how it goes, see what happens. And now if we get snow, it's not looking like snow. But if we get snow later on in the season, we might have, more rats come into the pond. I know once it freezes over, they lose access to the pond. Sometimes you'll get center ice and then the edges will be clear and they'll still be able to get in and out of the water. But once the pond freezes over, they can't get into it unless it melts down a little bit. but I'm not expecting those type of temperatures till like January or February. I mean, it's the end of November now, and I mean, you can see, look at the sunshine, and it's I'm gonna say it's warm for here. It's warm out. 60, 65 degrees. That's very warm for late November. But yeah, we'll keep going at it and see what happens. Well, exactly what happened, I called it. Exactly what was going to happen happened. I put a pocket set in here. As you can see, there's what's left of the pocket. You can see this whole bank has been completely ripped apart, just dug up. There's my trap tangled up in the tree. You can see all the bark has gone off that exposed root. All the bark has gone off this exposed root. There's my wire. You pulled my pipe out, there it is in the water. So my Super Jaw modified #1 trap, which is right here. There it is. It did hold the coon for a little bit, but look what he did to my set. Wrecked it. He freaking trashed it. Well, I wasn't purposely going to trap coons, but I guess now I am. I mean, this is a good location. It's got a drainage creek there. My mink box right there. I have another pocket over there. Pocket from last year I just reopened. I'll probably set that later on after Thanksgiving. But yeah, you can see he just completely destroyed it. So I'm gonna reset. Of course, it's pouring rain tonight. There's what's left in my pocket. I'm assuming the bait is gone out of it. Let me remake the hole there at least. There we go. Perfect. So I'll get all my gear up here, and I won't reset it tonight. I'm gonna wait until after Thanksgiving. Gun season is straight after that, so it'll be after that, and I'll reset it. See if we can't get them. I told you there were some monster coons. Look at that carnage where he was chewing the branch. And you can see here he has the wire wrapped up in the tree, and then he has the chain link wrapped around the tree, and then there's the trap hanging off it. So he got enough leverage on it that he got his foot out of it. All right, back at it again.